Hi, this is Mike, and welcome back to 5 Minutes of Fantasy Sports. So, we did a draft primer last episode, talked about teams. I want to talk about auction drafts a little bit here because auction drafts are a little bit different than maybe your traditional snake drafts because you do have a little bit more control, so it makes it a little bit more fun. And you can do some different strategies as well. So, um, taking a look at the screen here, we can see that this is the pick order of the draft. So you nominate a player for an auction draft, and then everyone in the league has the chance to bid on that player, and the value can go up as high as anyone's willing to bid it up. So you'll see early on in the draft there was some pretty good players. It's kind of a running joke in my league where someone nominates a kicker every time, and they try to get the kicker for $1 early, and it usually never happens. So they always bid up the kicker. I don't know why it's funny, but it is. But anyway, you can see a lot of players. Let me zoom in a little bit on this. A lot of players went pretty early. Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, two top end receivers went for 51, which is expensive. We had a $200 budget, I believe, for the draft. Kyle Pitts. So one strategy I like to do is throw sleepers out very early, or maybe players you know that are going to go for a lot of money early that you're not particularly interested in. And that can get everyone else's pile of cash down a little bit lower. So, my team here, Gridiron Glory, my first player that I took was Michael Thomas. Well, I already had a keeper, so we all have keepers, and that's at the very end. It'll show everyone's keeper. Here we go, starting with the K's. So, Christian McCaffrey was kept for $74. Derrick Henry, Stephon Diggs, Robert Woods, Antonio Gibson, Ridley, Jones, Jefferson, Mahomes, Cook, and Font. So anyway, those players were already off the board, so I already had a solid RB1 running back on my team. So when we come back to the auction, I was looking to get another solid running back, and I talked a little bit yesterday about the advantage that Travis Kelce gives at his position. So I was also looking to add him to my team. So he got nominated pretty early. I went up to $42 on him, which was expensive, but it was worth it in my mind because he does provide a positional advantage. All the other tight ends are not on his level, so that's nice. And you can see DK Metcalf, Ezekiel Elliott, Austin Eckler. So he was the one I was willing to go big on. I felt like he had a good chance of finishing high because, he's a good pass catcher. He's also a good running back, and he's in a pretty high-powered offense as well. So you can see the other names here, Kamara, Chubb. Basically, though, after these two players, after Kelce and Eckler, I was real low on money. I was down to like $50. So I had to wait for all the, you know, earlier drafted players to go quickly. And so in this league, quarterbacks aren't as important. Josh Allen went for a lot. I feel like this person could have done a little bit better, waiting possibly to get a different player. But everyone has their own strategy as well. So this was my first receiver that actually is going to play this year, Adam Thielen for 13. That was a pretty good steal for me. He's had a good season, more or less. And just kind of looking through here, you can see the numbers are still pretty high in the 30s. CeeDee Lamb went for really high. DJ Moore, that was a pretty good price for him, but he hasn't been very good this year. Mike Evans, 36. So really, if you're gonna, I guess the advice here is if you're going to go big early in an auction draft, you're gonna have to wait a long time before you can get those value players to add to your team. So if you have done some research maybe and you're looking for players that you already know are going to be good sleepers, or you have a hunch that they're going to stand out, I would suggest getting the guys that are going to be solid performers very early. Spend the money you want to on them to ensure you get them, and then hopefully the sleepers hit. The other strategy to do in an auction draft is to just kind of go for the average run-of-the-mill players. Spend $20 or so on each player, and that'll get you a solid team of players that you can use. So like Cooper Kupp went for $21. Everyone looking back, that's a great deal because he's had a great season. He went for cheaper than, I think as we go down, the numbers are going to go lower. TJ Hawkinson went for 28. I got Kelce for 42, I think it was, which is still a good deal. But the auction, it's just a time to really look and evaluate your team and figure out what needs you're going to have. And as things change, different players will want different things, and different teams will have different needs as they fill in their team. So, I got Kirk Cousins for $1, which was what I expected to pay for a quarterback. And I think I was pretty much out of money at this point. But you can see I got Tyler Bass, my kicker, for $1. I got David Johnson, I spent 4 on. I wasn't really sure what was going on in Houston with the running backs. Turns out they were all not very good, so no big loss there. Cole Beasley, I had him. I dropped him. I think I had Mooney. I don't know if he's down here somewhere. So anyway, when we look back at the draft, 180 players in our league. Some of them were keepers, but really go into the draft with your plan. Be willing to spend that auction money, because I had a couple dollars left over that I maybe could have spent to get an extra player, but it didn't really wind up mattering. Let me just go real quick to my team here. Teams. I think it tells you how much you had left. Unused, I had... Where's my team? I had $2 unused. So Aaron Jones was my keeper. Tyler Boyd, Chase Sermon, Antonio Brown. He was probably the best deal on my team other than my quarterback for $1. So yeah, looking it over, I'm happy that my hits early on paid off. So Travis Kelce's had a good season. He's still the tight end 1. Eckler's in the conversation for a top 5 running back. Aaron Jones is in that conversation as well. And my receivers have panned out to be pretty decent. And the best waiver wire ad I had was Cordarrelle Patterson, which we can talk about maybe in a different episode why I took a chance on him. So anyway, it's been more than 5 minutes, but that's okay. Good content today, hopefully. So anyway, we'll hold it off there. The auction tip of the day is have a plan, go in, use it, and be willing to wait if you're going to spend big money early on. All right, I'll see everybody tomorrow.